Welcome to the Church Communications Podcast with Katie and Daryl. And tonight we're brought to you by the Disciple Making Forum, like we were last week.
Yes.
The National Disciple Making Forum is brought to you by discipleship.org. Join 1,000 plus disciple makers in Nashville, Tennessee for this 2-day forum that will equip you as a disciple maker. Get 20% off with promo code CHURCHCOM. That's all capital letters, CHURCHCOM all together. Learn from disciple makers like Jim Putnam, Tom Rayner, a lot of other people, Daniel Ime, Ken Vaughn, Todd Wilson, 13 tracks, 15 plus speakers, 65 plus workshop, 13 organizations who are devoted to equipping you to make disciples. We'll be offering practical training so you can grow. Go to discipleship.org, use the promo code CHURCHCOM, and you can find a link to register directly from there. And also in the show notes today.
That's right. Oh, okay, I'm getting a little feedback.
Uh-oh. I will fix that.
No worries, I want to make sure that's not my computer. There we go. All right, let's try it now. I think I'm good.
All right. Everything better now?
Oh, perfect. Fantastic.
Great. Awesome. Okay, let's get on with the news of the week. Daryl, first article.
Here we go. Okay, so it looks like Facebook this week. Katie, this week's rundown is a little Facebook heavy because I think Facebook went a little crazy on cranking stuff out the door.
Facebook is my favorite, so that's fine.
There we go. So a couple of things we noticed this week. Facebook has revealed dynamic, basically they're released or unveiling the fact they're now prioritizing fast loading articles. So basically what they're doing is they're looking at mobile web and they're seeing, does your stuff, the stuff that you're creating for Facebook, in terms of like links, etc., whatever that is it fast linking? Is it dynamic? Is it moving? Is it going quickly? And if it is, guess what? You're getting moved further up the old news feed there. So that's something pretty interesting because I know Google did this. We talked about Google, I think, before doing this. We've known they've done this with like your search results, but this is the first time I've ever seen Facebook have an article by which they're saying, guess what? We're now moving mobile. We're moving your content up if we know it's from a fast moving content source. And there's basically fast loading content source. Specifically on mobile devices.
I guess they're looking at page speed. So if you want to find out your page speed for your church's website, you can go to just actually Google page speed.
Yeah.
And so Google has a neat tool, a page speed tool, and you can just find out what you need to improve on your website to make it faster. Honestly, it's probably images. You need to compress your images before you upload them, or you need to use a compressor tool, a JavaScript. Or you could put your JavaScript and CSS loading at the bottom. That helps as well. There's quite a few little tiny tricks that you can do to make your website load faster. I mean, the number one is being on really good hosting. That would be the number one. We use Media Temple at our church. But there's also WP Engine, which I think has become a huge one if you're using WordPress. If you want to figure out Google Cloud, then good for you. There's definitely a few. SiteCloud.
Right, SiteCloud.
SiteGround. Sorry, SiteGround.
SiteGround.
I think they have really great hosting. If they want to sponsor our podcast next, no, I'm just kidding.
We love it. I've also used, is it Flywheel?
Flywheel, is another great, but WordPress only hosts the situation. Flywheel also, we should mention though, also apparently runs theirs on like a huge WordPress multi-site install.
Yes.
So it might like freak out when you try to move it. So
yes, it will.
Don't do that. I don't know. Tread lightly on that one.
Tread lightly, but Katie's right. It's about the hosting. It's about your image compression. I've also found, by the way, when I stopped using Typekit for my fonts and I used Google Fonts or a font.com, because of Typekit's JavaScript, my sites ends up loading faster. So also keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
All right, Katie, story number 2.
I see that Kyler mentioned your hair looks fantastic, and I just wanted to mention that I got a haircut today, Kyler, and I don't even get any. It's fine. It's totally fine. Didn't even notice. Typical male.
No. Funny thing is, guys, Katie announced the entire office she was getting a haircut. It wasn't like she just snuck away. She announced loud, "I have got to go get a haircut." She announced
And I
confidently.
also said, well, what you laughed
Walk
at
out the
was
door.
I said, I gotta go look fresh. And then
Yes.
you and Todd just started dying laughing. I don't really
did.
know. I got a lot of things coming up. I got, that church
You're moving.
conference. I've got, thank you, Heidi, for thinking my hair looks great. Thanks, Bart, for telling me happy birthday, because that is tomorrow, turning the big 2-8. So, yeah, so I have that conference, and then my brother's getting married October 7th. So there's a lot of stuff where I needed a fresh haircut. And so I just wanted to announce it to the office. I don't know.
Hey.
I didn't want to lie to you. I don't know.
No,
I'm not.
You wouldn't lie to me.
I don't really sneak away either. I'm not much of a. You're never in our office, so I was like, I don't know what to do with my boss sitting there.
That's why I like. That's why I like it. I like sitting in the office because I like making people awkward, and everybody's really quiet. And nobody says anything.
We're always that quiet and awkward, though. Let's be honest here.
That's true.
That is our office, quiet and awkward. Please come join us sometime. I appreciate that, Bart. For appreciating my hair, and thank you. So anyway, back to the news.
Yes.
We're going to go talk about how to pick between an iPhone X and iPhone 8. The Verge covered that.
Yes, they did.
And I know you have a lot of feelings about it, so I'm going to let you talk about it because I think you have more feelings about that than I do.
But first, let me say why I picked this art, why I picked to talk about this topic. I know we're not a tech podcast or anything like that. We talk about communications and social media and how to make your church talk better about Jesus. But here's the reason I bring it up for us is I know that for our church that whenever a new iPhone is released, our mobile usage in terms of total numbers of users that are mobile first for us always ticks up. So I'm always excited when a new iPhone goes out because for some reason for us, we're going to go up probably, I'm going to estimate between 2 to 3 percentage points in terms of mobile usage. And that will not drop. So let's say we're 50, I guarantee you within 90 days, we're going to go up to 53 and we'll not lose 53. And then the next iPhone comes up, we'll do 56. And for some reason, I mean, of course I love that because I want more people on mobile. So this always excites me. The second reason why this excites me is like most of us who create content for our churches, our phones are basically our content creation devices.
It's what you do.
It's what we do. So it's one of those things where I'm sitting there kind of going,
I use this more than I do my computer during the day, which is odd. Exactly. But it's
that's because your computer's so slow at work. That's different though. That's because you got an old computer. We both do. I answer more email on this phone. So anytime we have a new thing that's got a better camera, and I'm thinking, wow, I can make photos look better. I can do X, Y, and Z better. I'm all about it. So all that to say, yes, I was giddy. I watched the entire thing for the most.
It's the only time I ever use Safari is to watch any Apple event. I'm like, I don't ever use it. Sorry, guys.
Yes. So anyway, The Verge has a great article. If you're kind of going timeout, they technically speaking released 3 phones yesterday. They released the 8, the 8 Plus, and now what they're calling the 10. So I guess they skipped 9. So they're releasing those 3 things. So the question is, so which one do you pick? And so I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure which one to get. I know that I probably will get either the Plus or the 10 because one, I want the camera, and the one thing I'm really excited about this for our church, for the church comm stuff for us is the portrait mode. What I've seen on the portrait mode and what it can do, specifically that new lighting. I mean, think about the really great Instagram photos we're going to get when we do like our People of Brentwood stuff. Also, I'm wondering if I can start taking staff photos with this thing. It looks like it's good enough that I probably could pull off our staff photos with just the phone versus.
I've almost wondered if I shouldn't just be doing staff photos with my phone. It's so much faster. Hey, Seth Muse.
Hey, Seth.
You're here.
So I think to me, it's kind of like, man, that thing gives me a lot of options. The other thing that I like is that the front-facing camera will be 1080p in terms of recording video. When I record video, anything I shoot for the church comms, I shoot on this phone and shoot 4K on this phone, but I don't see what's going on because obviously I'm seeing this, so I have to rig up my iPad as a second monitor. So the fact I'll be able to do this, I could do that, but yeah, that's true. I could do that. But anyway, I'm excited about that. So I think so.
I'm excited about it too. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really, really cool. I have a 7+ right now, so I'm probably gonna wait until next year before I get another one, because this does a lot of really great things. I think that the software update will be fantastic, and I won't have to worry about getting a totally new phone until next year, because this one's amazing. And also I bought the 256 gigabyte one because I was like, I'm never gonna delete anything again. It's fantastic.
Yes, and I have the 128, and I thought there's no way in the world I'll fill 128. And folks, I'm not far from it. I'm not far away from doing it.
I really probably should have only bought 128, but I was just so fed up with my life before that I was like, I'm going big or going home. So
yes, and then you also experience, I don't know if you experienced this, but you also have that one family member who for some reason got the iPhone 5C and it's 8 gigs. And every time at Thanksgiving, they're like, I can't take any more photos of the grandkids. I'm like, give me the phone. And then I've got load Google Photos and do all that stuff. Anyway, so we're excited. It's coming. And so, I think it's gonna be a really cool tool.
So back to Facebook.
Yes.
So Facebook is testing group video chat called Bonfire. So why are we excited about Bonfire for churches?
Well, I think to be honest with you, if it's a group video app, that means what they're doing is they're going to try to move you towards more video messaging. So if this is Facebook's play towards group video chat, there's a couple other apps, on the iPhone that one's called House Party that lets you do multi-user video chat. So the reality is that, you could obviously do everything like staff meetings via a Bonfire type of app. But the other cool thing is you and I right now, we're on Be Live, and that allows us to do this kind of thing where we can do an interview thing and we can push it to our page. But if we can do more of a multi-people type of thing and then share that out to the public, imagine being able to do stuff for your church and quickly generate interviews, whatever that is, via your phone.
Right. And I mean, if you have a small group that can't meet a certain night because everybody can't be together or something, how cool would it be to just jump on a group chat in Facebook, and have that handled within 5 minutes? I mean, that's the most annoying part, is that you have to download a software to use Skype. That's the most annoying part of Skype. And so I think this is going to be so simple, because have you made a video chat call on Facebook yet?
I haven't done the video. I've done audio chat. I've not done video chat.
Okay, well, I've done the video chat.
No, we did. You and I did. We tested it out, didn't we?
I did. Yeah, no, that was adding you as a live user on my Facebook Live.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, Jeanette, nice to see you.
What's up, Jeanette?
So, the group video chat seems like it's going to be in Messenger, so it's more of a private conversation.
You're right. That's right. But here's what you bring up a good point. This is something I think is interesting. Is you and I have had this thing where we've tried to do group stuff with online groups, Bible study, that kind of stuff. And one of the biggest barriers is I have to download a piece of software. I have to sign up for a new account somewhere. We know majority of people have Facebook. So all of a sudden, boom, the lock-in is it's the barrier level to get into this is now much lower.
And that's what I love about Be Live, is we don't have to download another piece of software to run it. You can do it from any regular browser. So I think that this is going to be huge for Facebook. I'm excited to see it. I did one video chat in Facebook. Daniel Unmiller actually chatted me in it a few weeks ago, and I thought it was really cool. So I wasn't expecting it. I was like, wait, what's happening? And it just took over my page, and I was like, this is awesome. So yeah.
I did an audio chat with Chris Dunnigan over at New Spring, and he kind of flipped out. He was like, what is this magic? Why are you calling me from Facebook? And I like it. Man.
I love Chris Dunnigan. Let's tag him in this later so he can know.
Yes, of course. Alrighty. Next story is so apparently Facebook is sneaking and testing out 5 different type of updates. So we're going to run through some of these updates that Facebook is testing out that I think could be of use to you at some point. First one is they are testing out a new search with photo. So you can take a picture of something and it'll kind of search for that thing on the platform. So
is that creepy? Can it do it with people?
I don't know, because
so, can you take a photo and be like, hey, find this person? You could be at Walgreens and say, hey, that guy is really cute. I'm gonna take a photo of him and find.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying. Like,
I like how you took this tool. You took it to the creepiest possible place.
Right. I mean, but that's like what some creeper guys are gonna do that to some sweet girl, and I'm just here to talk about it.
Well, I know that like Amazon has that feature. Like I use it all the time. I like if I've got to order something in the house, I just take a picture of whatever the item is in my kitchen, and they go, "Oh, you want to order more of this?" Like, yeah, just go ahead and grab that. So, yeah.
You got one of those Echo ones?
No, I just have a phone. It's in the Amazon app.
You get an Echo wand. What are you doing?
Well, you know what you can do, Katie. If you've got a creeper, you can do what is feature number 2, which looks like they're doing private profiles, which basically means you can create small groups of friends which share specific updates. So think of this like kind of like Google Circles, if you will, but it's kind of like a private profile. Like in other words,
it seems like that thing that they tried to do but failed. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that thing? They had another app or something. It was like maybe it was for high schoolers.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? The Facebook for high schoolers? Like Facebook created it. It was called something, and they killed it recently. Anyway, but it seems very similar to what they did with that. It's like, but they're trying to like make it on it. Maybe they're just like, let's repurpose the software.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to create private. They're going to, much like we know they're jumping into books. I mean, don't say groups. Excuse me. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to create private circles of friends. So think of it like group texting, but like a group shared post, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because I think they're looking at trying to do the same thing. Rumor has it looks like they're trying to do the same thing for Instagram as well. So that's interesting. Here's another one they're coming out with. Number 3 is they're doing recommended businesses in chat. So it looks like as you chat, you'll have the ability it'll have businesses that are recommended for you as you chat. So it's interesting. They're using, I guess, the virtual assistant optimization to do this. Yep. That's interesting. So how can you ensure your church is going to be listed? It means you need to make sure there's a clear connection between your audience and you, that being your church. They're not sure exactly what the factors will be, but they're rolling this out. Number 4, active users. This is kind of interesting. So if you notice in your sidebar on Facebook, if you're on the desktop, you'll see, or actually if you're Messenger or whatever, you'll see the green dots when you know somebody's active. It looks like that little green dot is going to come to your newsfeed as well. So
like everything. You're going to see green dots beside your name everywhere.
Green dots.
You may have actually recently seen the badge beside me and Daryl's name in our group. So that's also a new feature that's not mentioned on here, but yeah.
And last but not least, they're doing instant video, which is kind of like instant articles. It's supposed to load really fast. I think the idea is that they're trying to get the stuff to load off in the background. I know they have this problem over in India in terms of bandwidth on Facebook, which is why Facebook has actually a different app in India versus the normal Facebook. But it looks like what they're trying to do is when you're on Wi-Fi, it'll download videos in the background. So when you open up Facebook, those videos are already ready to rock and roll. So you can just go through and you can view videos at a much quicker pace, and it wouldn't take up your bandwidth on your cellular network. So I think it's kind of interesting that they're getting better at that. But these are some of the features that they're testing out, which I am kind of excited about.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so our next article is Facebook is consolidating its ad buying tools, praise the Lord, and combining its ad placement options. Does anybody else feel like totally overwhelmed when they're trying to do a Facebook ad? I haven't done a ton of Facebook ads, and I think that's maybe why, because I'm not like super confident in it because I don't do them very often. I do them like twice a year for Easter and for Christmas. Anybody else out there? Christmas and Easter. So we'll come back to that, Seth.
Yes.
Good question. So, Christmas and Easter, is that like the one time I buy ads? So yeah. This says that power editors won't notice any changes, but ad managers will be able to use the tool step-by-step creation. So it'll be a little bit easier. I think they're like trying to put more wizards, I guess, is the term, but not like physical wizards, but like, a step-by-step wizard.
So, the funny thing is, you mentioned it, is I was taking a lynda.com Facebook course a couple weeks ago on ad buying, and it was like, you have ad buying, then you have the power editor, then you have Instagram, and I was okay,
it's a lot.
It looks like, which I'm glad is they're pulling all this into one single interface, because the power editor lets you do a lot of things like duplicate your ads and do some segmenting. You could kind of really, hence that it is the power editor. But it looks like what they're doing is they're kind of coming in and consolidating, which again would be nice. But I also say this: you just said it. I mean, it's really overwhelming. I mean, I have to read people like Amy Pearson. Is it Amy Pearson or Amy Porterfield? Amy Porterfield, who is a guru of Facebook ads to kind of keep updated on what the Facebook ads, how to do them.
And if you're not doing Facebook ads within Business Manager, I know you're doing it wrong, but Business Manager is also kind of scary. I went on Linda too and watched all those videos, and I still don't understand how to set a Business Manager. And I even watched the Facebook videos, and I'm still like, that is literally so confusing. Is anybody else confused?
I'm confused because you told me you'll tell me, hey, I set up this on Business Manager, but I don't think I can know how to do this. And I'm kind of going, and I like to think I'm technical, but you just spoke Greek to me, and I'm like,
I know. Well, and I have a grasp on the situation, but I'm still grasping. So, hey, Seth Muse, if you know how to do it, maybe we should hang out and you can chat me through it. That would be awesome. So, Seth, back to your question about live audio. We haven't heard anything about live audio since we talked about it.
Zero.
So we talked about it a year ago, maybe in our podcast, and we hoped that it would happen, and it hasn't.
Yeah. I would love it. I think for us, where it would work for us is some of our campuses where we don't broadcast the sermon. In terms of
it would be incredible for that. Yeah, if we don't podcast the video.
Yes, that'd be fantastic. Oh my gosh, that'd be great.
Okay, so our hot topic.
Oh yeah, folks. Okay, so the hot topic that for those you don't know is where we elevate one conversation that happened in the group this week that was spirited discussion, as I'd like to say. Different opinions were expressed, and that was actually started by the one and only Katie Allred. Katie posted a screenshot of some Facebook insights that we had got from our main campus, our Brentwood campus, of live video versus pre-produced video. So in other words, produced video that you upload. So Katie, do you want to kind of give a description of what the two videos were and then what the results were?
Sure, yeah. So, and we'll put a link to it in the show notes so you can go over there and look at it in the group. But okay, so basically we had 3 videos from hurricane relief in the last year, in the last month. And so 2 of those were produced pieces, talking head pieces that were really well produced, looked great, fantastic. And then one of them was a Facebook Live interview with our pastor. And the 2 produced pieces, which were 1 minute 30 seconds, which usually is what everybody says, hey, when you're doing a video, it should only be 1 minute long because people are not going to pay attention to it. Well, those were less viewed than the Facebook Live video, which was over 10 minutes. So, whether it is linked or not, I don't think that's the case. I actually went back and did some discrepancy. So Mike has gone live for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Plenty of times, for a long time. Actually, he's been doing Facebook Live for a small amount of time. And those 2 get seen more than the produced pieces. And I think, honestly, it doesn't come down to whether it's a good or not. The produced pieces are beautiful. I think it's more like Facebook just likes that it's live. Yeah. And so, I'm wondering what can we do to help that. I actually just learned from Daniel, of course there's OBS. We could maybe try to do something with OBS instead of a real camera when we're doing this and throw those live produced pieces in the live feed. But then he told me about this other software, which I can't remember the name of it, where it's super easy to put a produced piece just in the middle of another one where it's not so complicated for the average human being. I think it's called Ecamm or something.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I think we had a pretty spirited debate in regards to this. Is it the fact it's live or pre-produced, or is it the topic itself? Is it the thumbnail? What are some of the contributing factors for that? And I think, Katie, what you stated, which I think is right, is I think Facebook just says that is live, that is pre-produced. I'm taking live over pre-produced, and that's just a decision that they're making, and we're seeing it across the board. And I think the other thing we've had to train our senior pastor on, which isn't even for that matter training ourselves on, is that we want to go longer in those pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, what's some of the coaching you've given Mike, our pastor, on that?
First off, the interview, it worked super well for Mike. It has for the last couple of weeks. So Mike will sit down and talk with someone based on our major messaging calendar. So 2 weeks ago, it was he was talking to our missions minister about what we're doing to help hurricane relief. But and that wasn't in the major messaging calendar. That was just something that came up. But last week he talked with Vicki Howell, our local missions minister, about how we can help at-risk communities in our area and how they can get connected on Sunday morning with someone to help with human trafficking and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things you can do with Facebook Live. So let me just break down a couple of these. And I actually stole these from Daniel Armler, so I want to give credit where it's due. You can extend your sermon. So if you're like, I need to tell them some more about this, okay, go for it. Preach a little longer. Do it via Facebook Live. You can preview next week's sermon, which is what we love to do. We love to actually even recap our sermon from last week, or from Sunday, because we want to try to make it as long as possible. So you could do, or to remind people, because honestly, it's not like we want to make it long as possible, because nobody likes long sermons. What we want is for people to remember it, because it's forgettable. I honestly, that's what we want, is for it to be in people's minds again and again and again. Mm-hmm. You can do a guided prayer time. We did that when, for the election.
We did it for the election. It was a huge hit.
It was huge. It was one of the most. We actually said, "Hey, we're going to be doing this." We promoted it several times, and ended up being one of the most watched Facebook Lives we've ever done. Yep. So guided prayer, don't doubt prayer, the power of prayer.
And by the way, we in full disclosure, we stole that idea from Mount Zion, a local church in the area that actually does theirs. I think they may do theirs over Periscope.
You want to follow great team, great work, Mount Zion, just check out Mount Zion Nashville. Look at follow their Twitter, follow that Periscope. If you want to see a church killing Twitter, it's Mount Zion. We say a lot in the group that we don't understand Twitter for churches anymore, but Mount Zion's really killing it. So specifically their pastor, who is Bishop Joseph Walker. Yes, it's he's just that dude crushes it. I mean, a pastor who is crushing it on social media, Bishop Joseph Walker.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been really big. Yeah, we stole that prayer idea from them, because he does a prayer I want to say every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Yeah. Which is really, really cool. And the prayer thing that's been huge for us. So again, we're learning the nuances of it. I think one of the other things we're learning also is while we love our pastor and we want our pastor to be live, is we're trying to figure out how do we not make it all about him, and how do we include other staff, which is why the interviews is great.
The interviews are great. And also you could share a member story. So, if we find a really cool story that we want to share in our church, we don't necessarily have to always make a huge produced piece about it. What we could do is just simply pull them in with Mike and let Mike guide that, your pastor, let your pastor guide that time with that member about how they, came to know Jesus, or something really cool that happened in their life that God really got glory for.
Which I'll do on my new iPhone X.
With your new iPhone X, you could do that.
Yeah.
Or your old iPhone, really. You could also recommend a resource. So, if your pastor just read, a really great devotional, then you could use that. I was trying to find, I have a book. It's underneath my computer there right now. I have my Bethmore Bible Studies underneath my computer. But I read it, guys. So anyways, you could just talk about that for a while. So, that's, stuff that you can do. The longer you can do it, I think the better.
Yeah, I agree.
Even on this podcast, we've been going for 39 minutes now, or 30 minutes. And the longer we've gotten, the more viewers we've received.
Yes. Surprise. So there you go. That's kind of crazy. So anyway, that was our hot topic of the week: Facebook Live versus pre-produced videos. So if you can go check that chat out, it's somewhere, just search it. You'll find it. There we go. Katie, what's our shout out for this week?
We just want to shout out to Jeff McIntosh and the team over at CMG, the Visual Church Media Facebook group. They are great, and we actually partnered with them today to do a little swap of linking our groups together. So to recommend, because we do We're in the same area, but we do very different things. Our groups do so separate things. Like, so if you need like stage design, lighting design, pro presenter questions, those kind of things that are very technical, very audio video kind of quality questions, that group is the best place to go for that. Our group's not really, our group is more about branding, social media, PR. How do I handle a situation like that? You know, that's more of our focus.
That's the lane we're in.
Yeah. And we're not good at that other lane, so we're gonna let them take it. Just kidding. Daryl's actually super great at that lane. He came from that world. Live event production was Daryl's life.
That was my life, and then I said I'm tired of traveling. So I got an idea. Let's go do stuff on Facebook.
So, anyways, shout out to them. So, thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. If you've enjoyed this podcast, if you're listening to the audio version, please subscribe on iTunes. If you're watching on Facebook, share or like this video. If you're on YouTube, hit or smash that subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. You can check us out on social media. We're at The Church Comms. It's being run by the one and the only Mr. Kyler Nixon, and we are grateful for his work on that. So if you can also tell your friends about this group, if you haven't done that yet, we'd love to have more people join and just join in on the conversation.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.